Bills fans, what is up? How are you? It's the day after 2-0, the day after. One of the reasons I wanted to come to you is, yeah, how you feeling on a, what do you call this, overreaction Monday after a week one, come back now, a week two, go behind early, jump ahead, stay ahead, and don't give it away. I wanted to talk about that, a little bit more about the game, how you guys feel about the team, also all the stuff that happened yesterday around the league. Um, all the quarterbacks that went down, everybody that got injured, and what it means for the Buffalo Bills season. You have Roethlisberger going down. But before that, you have Luck retiring, Darnold go down with mono. The absolute catastrophe that's going on in Miami. Just a ton of stuff. Denver going with an old quarterback. What's up, dude? Josh Allen is looking like a quarterback, but according to Mike Francesa, the Giants' defense is so bad they made him look like a quarterback. But I'm going to talk about something else. Yesterday, I felt like the chat got a little disrupted. The flow got messed up. There's been a point of contention in the room who constantly comes in, makes it his seems like his divine right to be negative about everything and anything, constantly harkens back to the past, got into some of the chats. Comments. He's been around for a while. I've been very, very patient. I've been very, very tolerant. And it just got to the point yesterday where it was just too much and too ridiculous. And, and I thought about it. I thought on it long and hard, overnight and throughout some of the day. And I just have to, I have to wave bye to Corey, man. I have to wave bye to him because it's just too much, bro. It's just too much. He disrupts the room. He comes in with just a crazy take on everything and anything. And it just got to the point where I see him in the comments and he's so opinionated. He's accusing people of harassment and this and that. And I'm like, bro, you can't be this thin skin in the online world, man. You can't be this thin skin with that big of an opinion and accusing people of harassment. So I had to piece him out and close the book on him. I'm sorry I had to come to that. I don't like to be a dictator or a dickhead but when I see him fucking with the rest of the people in the room and constantly just bringing up asinine stuff, and being so ardent about it, want to come in after a 2-0 start and just be negative, talking craziness. I had to be done. I was this close to blocking him in the chat yesterday when he brought up how Mahomes threw for a bunch of yards and threw for more yards in one quarter than this and that. I'm like, well, what was the final score of the game? I wanted to ask him. It was 28 to what, 10, 13? Yeah, the Bills scored 28 points too. He's just a style points junkie. I don't know what his issue is. But yeah, man, sports Dom, great win. Bunzolo, yeah, great win. 28-14, doubled down on him. I felt like it could have been a little more, could have been a little less, could have swung both ways, but that's what happens in a game. Kickers miss kicks. Pat to get back. Wasn't my arch nemesis. Just somebody who'd been around for a while. I understood he's jaded, bro. He's jaded. A lot of Bills fans, young Bills fans, are jaded, but you can't let that continuously be your mindset. What you just can't let that be, especially early in the year, talking like this organization is still being run by the same people. You can't go forward in a book turning the page backwards. Them chapters are done. The owner's different. The people who clean the building are different. It just got ridiculous, man. It really did. And I'm too old to deal with a loose cannon like that. Coming in here last year talking about how Nathan Peterman wasn't given a fair opportunity and how he was going to be great and how he just going back in the archives of this kid. It's just like, yo, he's whatever he wants to be, because in my regular everyday life, I don't tolerate negativity to that extent, and I shouldn't do it here, nor should any of you guys have to tolerate that type of negativity and volatile behavior, and then being accused of being harassed when you have such an opinionated way about you. You can't let that be. And I felt it was my responsibility to quell that. So thanks for being so tolerant, because it was getting ridiculous, man. But yeah, it was a really good win yesterday. A win they needed to get. They needed to go in there and do what they did yesterday And I really, like I said, I harken back to that end of the half sequence. A lot of other Bills fans, a lot of other Bills media has. I really wish if the troll was really Antonio Clown. It could have been. You never know. You never know. I don't know. I don't know about that sports dom. I really can't say. I just know that I had to put the old the mute and the block button down and just end it. But it was a good win, a solid win, a win that you feel a lot better, starting on the road, going home 2-0 for the first time in franchise history, having started on the road 2-0 in the same building. What a weird way to start the season on the road. But then you're not going cross country, you're not going to the Midwest, wherever down south, basically right in their own backyard. Josh Allen with a real mic drop on one of the New York reporters yesterday. It kind of caught a little bit of buzz around here in the North New Jersey area, and I thought it was funny. And I commented on Twitter how aware this kid is. This kid really is just so aware. He understands his position. He knows he's the starting quarterback. I think he understands and knows how talented he is, but he's the last person that's going to tell that to you, and that's what's so refreshing about him. And he really knows how to carry himself very, very well as a starting quarterback for a team that just really hasn't had that caliber of talent at the position maybe in its history. The closest thing was Kelly. The stat going around, he's the first quarterback to throw for over 200 for 7 straight games since Kelly. Yep, give the B. Yep, pretty much New York State champs, and that I felt that was huge, a huge a win. But to go back home 2-0, and now you're going to go within the conference facing a Bengals team that's 0-2. Their backs against the wall. They've been throwing up a ton of yards, but they've been giving up a ton of yards. 32 ranked defense in the National Football League, and this is a league with the Miami Dolphins. This is a league with the New York Giants defense that we saw on display in MetLife Stadium. So there is a real opportunity for this offense to just really make some hay in their home opener. That stadium is going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be ready to roll on Sunday in New Era Field, and I cannot wait to watch it. It's going to be really, really exciting to see the possibility of this team going 3-0. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm really, really excited. Yesterday's game, we saw some things that were very, very just tantalizing. The comparison I've always made with Josh Allen, and I'll continue to make, is John Elway. I saw some John Elway. Yeah, he did, but that was with a different team. There's no AJ Green. This is a different offensive system, a different offensive scheme. This is a rookie head coach, a rookie staff. Bills at home with a lot better structure around Josh Allen. I feel a lot more confident about this than I do what was, and that was the third game of the preseason last year, I believe. So it was a lot more tenuous, and it's a lot more of a stable situation now. Their offensive line is in rough shape. I'll probably do a preview video later this week and just upload it on a record. I just wanted to come to a live really quick because I felt bad about the way the chat, everybody's vibing, they're feeling good, they're excited about being 2-0. And there's a lot of fan bases, they're upset about 0-2. They're upset about 1-1. And, you have people, hey, what's up, Los? How you doing, man? Just a quick recap. I had to put an end to all the drama, Los. I had to say bye to Corey. It just got too crazy yesterday. You were here, and I just can't have that type of toxicity in the room, man. I can't do it. I can't do it no more. I can't tolerate the craziness. I don't want to come in here and every time we have a video about a Bills game, whether it's a win or a loss, and talk about Sammy Watkins, Doug Marrone, and Chan Gailey. Like, why are we talking about those fucking guys? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, man. You're driving up from Queens. That's a hike. You're probably going to go through more traffic trying to get out of New York City than you will going up to the game. That's because that traffic over there can be crazy. If you're leaving on a Saturday, I hope you leave at a decent time so you can get up there and chill and relax, because it's a lot more easy going up there, I'm sure, than it is down here. It is crazy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are really. I try not to be like that. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't say whatever they want to say. They can't curse. That I'm not a dictator, so I let him have his say so long, and it just got to the point I just can't. I can't deal with it. It's just too much. And then he's messing with people in the room, talking like, oh, don't just little kid shit. And I'm not about that little kid shit. I'm 41 years old. I'm not dealing with it. Yeah, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. We know this team's not there yet. I'm not sitting here like, I don't come on here and say that this team's ready to go win a Super Bowl or this team's going to a Super Bowl. I feel like I'm pretty balanced and fair. When a team that needs criticizing, I criticize them. When the administration needs criticizing, I criticize them. But I also take notice that this isn't Ralph Wilson's Bills. This isn't the hiring of a Dick Duran guy that would never get any other job in the league, a Chan Gailey. These are coaches that would not even be sniffed for a head coaching position, that just basically got rolled out by the prior brass because nobody else wanted the job. So I'm not going to keep going back to those days because we have a negative Nancy who just can't get over it. Time to get over it and move on. Sunday, I hope you're leaving Saturday in the AM. Sunday, I think you're gonna have missed the game already, bro. Yeah, I kind of caught on with the Sabres. I like watching. I hear so much about them on the radio up there, and I got into the whole thing where they were trying to acquire the top pick in the draft back in 14, and even prior to that, you always heard about all the stuff that they were going through, because just my only Bills outlet was really WGR, that I could listen to anything about them as per media close to the team, because around here. Have I ever watched the playoffs? Of course, I've watched the playoffs. I definitely watched the playoffs. I was one of those fans because I don't like the state of the league, and I started watching hockey more full time, and got the living around here, Islanders, Rangers, Devils. So you hear a lot about hockey around here too. So I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let me get into it. Let me start watching it, and I'll just back the team up there in Buffalo because it only makes sense for me to do so. And yeah, man, I'm I was so nervous yesterday. I don't know why. I do know why, because I'm always waiting for that other shoe to drop. Of course, as a Bills fan, you're always waiting for, like, just when you think they might do something, be careful. And then we saw the first drive, but they made the adjustment. They adjusted. They were very sure tackling after that. I gave Saran Neal a lot of props because he was really, man, it didn't seem like he got to a guy, he brought that guy down, made some great one-on-one tackles on Saquon Barkley, made a few good pass breakups, rotated in there with Dean Marlowe and the nickel, big nickel corner, and really played well. I noticed they had Trey White covering Evan Ingram, treated him like a wide receiver, really, not so much a tight end. And that was really interesting to see. But overall, the defense, teams are going to score points in this league. They're professionals. It's hard to hold teams down with the way the rules are so tilted toward offense. But this defense it's really good. And it's the bread and butter of this team still. The offense has a ways to go, but it's getting there. It's getting there. 2 weeks of 370, 80 yards of offense total, and good balance, run pass, more so this week than last week. And that was huge. And I'll say that too. I'll just echo what you just said. Bunzolo times two. Yeah, the way they responded, the way they came back and scored, the way they, old Bills teams I would have sat around and waited for something else bad to happen, where this one just bit down hard and said, you know what, fuck this, we're going to end this game. And that was such a great thing to see. All right, bro, I just wanted to make sure. but it was good to see them respond. Last week they responded in a big way down 0-16, and this week coming out in their home opener, they need to make a statement and say, you know what, we're for real. We're gonna welcome the gold standard of not only the AFC East, the AFC, but of the NFL, the sports world, in the New Era Field, undefeated, and see what happens. Yeah, he's a really, really good player. And I would not be shocked, Los, that we don't start to see a few of these guys, these foundational guys, get contract extensions sooner rather than later. You got a lot of Bills fans who look at free agency dollars and are always thinking about people from the outside. I think what this regime is going to do is start to try to keep the people in-house that they like and make sure that they're Bills for a little while. What's up, Eric? Yeah, man, I had to do Neil. I listened to Francesa today, Neil, and apparently, like I said earlier, it was the Giants' defense. It was so bad that it made Josh Allen look like a quarterback. It wasn't Josh Allen being good at being pinpoint accurate. It was the defense, and also, you know how Eli had that tip pass interception? It was a freak interception, but Allen, who had one of those for a pick six last week, sucked. This market, I will say this media market, this media is very, very arrogant. They're very condescending. They're very highfalutin, big city market. The question that Allen that reporter broached to Allen about, you could have ended up here, like, oh my God, you could have ended up here, but it's kind of like you're up there in Buffalo. Yeah, he's in Buffalo. He's in New York. You're in New Jersey. You're not in New York. You're on the outskirts of New York. New York City is only like 3.5 miles away from MetLife Stadium, but I shit you not, on a heavy traffic day, it would take you 4 hours to make it that 3.5 to 4 miles. Yeah, I'm in New York. Oh, and what's up, Snarl? How you doing, man? I had to, but a little. What do I think of Singletary? Is he's electric? He is electric. That guy is so like, wow, what an explosive. He looks like a young Shady, like a young put your foot in the ground, cut, just make people miss in a phone booth. Oh my God, this guy gets the ball in his hands, and if it's in space, he just has an extra gear that is just ridiculous. That, again, I made a few notes about this game. The hero ball is really gone from this offense. That feast or famine, it's either long ball or nothing, or Josh Allen breaking off a big run. It's methodical, long drives, 70-yard drives, 80-yard drives, 98-yard drives. Crazy. All the drives, all the touchdown drives this year have been very long. And Allen, I think that what acquisition John Brown is. What an acquisition John Brown is. Cole Beasley, he really rebounded yesterday, had a nice game. That one catch he made on the third down, and then he was able to leak out and get that 50-yarder. Just really, really big ups. And if one of those other guys could come in, and crazy enough, it looks like Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie's he's an issue. And he's a guy I want to see, again, I think he can be an issue too and get the ball in space and create some mismatches. And this team might be getting Andre Roberts back this week, so that's a good thing. But just a quick recap, guys, who just came in. I had to, I hate to keep saying this. The shit got a little too, I just didn't like the vibe in the room, especially after a win, 2-0 start. We constantly had a certain somebody coming in the room and just bringing nothing but negativity and crazy comments and just asinine takes. And I had to put the old block mute down on Corey, man. I had to do it. I had to say peace out. More so his interactions with you guys. Like, I can deal with him. Like, I don't take him seriously because I know he's a little screwy, but more so his interactions with you guys and how I saw it going in the comments and everything, and just him being thin-skinned but being highly opinionated about. I was just like, nah, I can't have this. If it's just one person and it's everybody has the same opinion towards one person, then it's that one person. So I had to say sayonara. Yeah, the last 2 weeks he's been up 63%, which is good. And you can learn accuracy. I've seen accuracy become better on a lot of quarterbacks. I'll put it to you this way. John Elway, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. See see, that's something that's not gonna happen no more. And I apologize for that. That's my fault. I let it go on too long, man. And I shouldn't have done that. I was trying to be, cool, and I was trying to be, tolerant and not a dictator, but I just couldn't no more. I couldn't allow it. John Elway didn't have, and I'm not saying this is good, but this was yesteryear football. This is, 25 years ago. His first year of 60+% completion, it was like his 13th year. I remember a former first round pick, Steve Bartkowski, played with the Atlanta Falcons. He was pretty much a 55%, 58% passer, and all of a sudden his second to last 2 years, 2 years in a row, he was up at 65, 66, and that was in the mid 80s. So Steve Young, different offense, West Coast offense accuracy is more like baked in with little short passes. But we've seen Allen hitting those passes, and those big plays are going to come sooner than later. I think he's going to start hitting on some of those big shots. Yeah, man, he really does. He flashes some what was considered a good adjusted in yesteryear, like high 60s, but they didn't really do that. All those advanced stats and stuff like that, they were non-existent, Neil. They didn't exist. I think this is a new wave of numbers crunchers that want to, kind of stick their foot into the football world because maybe they didn't work out in the finance world or the tech world, but they know how to make these algorithms that can quantify this type of stuff. So they've been able to make money with these football analytics. And you got to remember that's what a lot of it is. It's a money making venture. They know there's a market for these numbers. A lot of times these numbers maybe don't mean much of anything. The thing that Corey said that I almost blocked him for in the room last night was saying how Pat Mahomes threw for more yards in one quarter than most quarterbacks. But I'm like, at the end of the day, it was still only 28 points in one quarter. The Bills scored 28 points too. It doesn't matter how they got up there. The fact is that they're up there and they were all offensive. Just a stupid statement. Yeah, his interception, but you saw Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan threw a stupid interception last night in the end zone, still came back and won. I think we have to always remember that interceptions happen. Wentz threw a few crazy interceptions last night. And I think we just get way too ahead of ourselves. A game is organic. It's a moving thing played by 22 guys at one time, coached by 40 plus guys. So there's a lot of things moving in a football game that we don't see and that influence it. Whether it's a guy being injured, trying to plan on an injury, maybe a guy's gimpy, you don't know about it yet. But all things aside, Allen has looked better. He's looked more accurate. He's looked more decisive. And he's not taking off and running like those crazy long runs. I mean, he stiff-armed a linebacker out of bounds yesterday, which was good. Don't mind Ramius. He just walks wherever he wants. And he hasn't really hit on any huge throws yet. I think the longest one so far has been to John Brown for the touchdown against the Jets. So those big 50, 60-yard chunk plays, they're going to come, and I can't wait for it. Yeah, Favre has a great statement. There's a video of him talking, and Favre, he's just the most country draw, cool, calm. Just he's the kind of guy you close your eyes and think of as quarterback. You know what I mean? Just this go-lucky, aw shucks, just crazy cannon arm, scrambling, making all kinds of crazy plays. But anyway, he says, Ty Detmer asked him, damn, why did you throw that ball like that, bro? And he said Steve Mariucci was the quarterback coach, and he asked him, why'd you throw the ball like that? Why would you do this here? When they were in the quarterback room, Holmgren as well. And he just simply said, because I could. Yeah, Tremaine, and I forgot to point that out. He almost had that pick six. It was so close yesterday. He drove on that ball, and it was right there. He was going to run that back in for a touchdown. Yeah, Eric, you got to give Bean a lot of credit, man. A lot of credit. Yeah, Roland, Jalen Ramsey demanding a trade. Oh, the great Doug Marrone down there in Jacksonville. building that winning culture. Remember, don't confuse effort with results. You know, come on. It's tough. The Bills are in a spot right now where they can reestablish themselves as a franchise to be reckoned with. The landscape of the league, the AFC, is in flux. Other young quarterbacks here. There's stability in Buffalo, ownership, Bean, Mallory, McDermott. The New York Jets ownership, their brass, I will tell you, is a laughing stock that you guys probably already know. What's up, Trevor? The Dolphins. I mean, yeah, we have the 10,000-pound gorilla in the division. The Steelers, what's going to happen with them? Roethlisberger. Let's see how Baker looks tonight. Let's see how if he bounces back. The Bills have a chance to reestablish themselves as a player, a legitimate player for a long time. And this, and I didn't really hit me till today. You kept hearing about how important the 2018 quarterback class was. You know, prior to it, that was the year 2018. That's the year to get your quarterback. And when the Bills ended up being one of those teams that got a quarterback that we all, most of us for the most part, including myself, didn't like. I'm not going to come in here and lie and say I was a Josh Allen believer supporter, because I wasn't. I bought into the negativity and just passing him off. But there it goes. I can't talk to the kid. The Draftniks can't talk to the kid. You know, Mel Kiper and McShay and all these people that are draft gurus, they can't go interview these kids and work these kids out and be in their private meetings. Who should the Bills be cheering for tonight? You want to cheer probably for the Jets. Because I think the Jets would be, yeah, man, because I think the Jets, you know, they're in your division. You want to make sure they're as down as possible. Yeah, man, that kid, he has gotten what a bad situation for him. Josh Rosen, you go from a bad situation to an even worse situation, and it's like, what is the point there? What is the point? And it's just really tough. Yeah, I was hoping to see that. You always want to see young quarterbacks square off, and the better young quarterbacks that, you know, aren't Brady but that are still good on the come up, that can, you know, maybe beat them. Hopefully us too, beat them. That only makes it a little more even. But you know what? I can only worry about the Bills as a Bills fan. So that's a thing that Dolphin fans have to go through, Jet fans have to go through. You know, nobody sits there and cries for the Bills when Josh Allen hurts his elbow in Houston. Nobody cries for the Bills when they're having to start quarterbacks like Nathan Peterman, sometimes of their own choice, sometimes they didn't want to. Derek Anderson. So yeah, that nobody's gonna cry for our team, and it's tough, you know. So it's a tough situation. Those design runs, they're the way that the offense is being designed right now. Trevor is really, really nice. I mean, that one screen pass, I don't know if you remember, it was on a third down. Allen, it was one of those Patriot plays where the guy just took like quick little hitter. John Brown caught it, ran probably about 4 or 5 yards, and had he not been tripped up by the ankles, man, he could have went for like 20 or 30, maybe even the distance. It was one of those plays, and one of those plays is going to break sooner than later. You know, if you have some bigger bodies, like some tight ends out there, and I'm waiting to see them to get these young tight ends more involved, like a Knox, you know, Sweeney. Sweeney didn't really get much burn. He did lay some beautiful blocks yesterday in the run game. That's one thing I'll give him. And Knox on the touchdown to Singletary with a beautiful block. He drove DeAndre Baker right back into the end zone while he was getting his helmet pushed up, by the way. Yeah, those are coming, Bonzola. Those shots are coming. That he missed John Brown early, but those shots are definitely coming, man. That would have been nice. But you know what? They scored on that drive. They scored a touchdown. So I can't get mad at it. How about last night in the Eagles Falcons game where Wentz puts one right on Aguilar, right in his hands, and he dropped it. He was going to walk into the end zone. He had a free run, and he dropped it. Imagine that. So that was yeah, it's a stretch, and it's one that I think that they can do some, if you can make some hay here and play, make some hay and go into that bye with a big winning record, that would be really, really good. Yeah, Matt, and he threw 3 picks last night, and I tell people all the time, quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. Quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. Allen is going to throw some picks trying to make plays. But I didn't get to finish my point from before. I sound like a broken record. That play he threw to Knox on the run, rolling to his right after having evaded some pressure, looks like a dead play, and he rifles it to Knox for 18 yards on a rope. That play is John Elway, Brett Favre. That play. Darnold can't make that play, and I don't think Baker Mayfield can make that play. And here I am, another broken record saying I watched those two on the field in Cleveland over a year ago, and what I saw from my own eyes in terms of like wow factor, like I understand it now, I get it now, not just because he's wearing a Bills uniform. I see how people just from the eye test fell in love with Allen like that. The second I seen him move and throw the ball, I was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. In front of my own eyes, I've never seen it. Never. Yeah, man, he threw that ball. And how about the third down conversion to John Brown on the game-winning, game-sealing drive, the one that Gore ended up punching in? There was a third down. Allen, again, rolling to the right, evaded a sack, and just on a line. John Brown, to get out of the end zone on that 98-yard drive, had a big catch also. And he's not a one-trick pony. I was of the opinion that he was kind of just like a gadget, fun toy, go down the field, get it. Marquise Goodwin-esque, and he's a lot better route runner. And I went back and I listened to some of his interviews and some of the things he said, and he said he was that when he came into the league, but having played with Larry Fitzgerald most of his career, he really learned the finer points of route running and how important it is to be able to be a good route runner and still stay in the league for a long period of time. And he looks like, he's ready to break out and have a big year. And I really hope. He's a really solid wide receiver, very, very underrated. And I'm waiting for this passing game to just have a day. I want to see it. And then that's another thing, Hussein, I want to talk about. Again, because of the lack of return threat that they haven't had in almost over a year. Remember, Brandon Tate would be like a godsend right now because he did some decent things in the punt return game. And if they can get Andre Roberts back 100% this week for the Bengals game, returning kickoffs and punts, that's going to be a huge dimension. You don't have to worry about the field being flipped on you. You're going to be able to get a punt, inside your 20 and possibly get it up to the 40. That's massive if you look at the percentages of touchdown drives that start at 35 plus as opposed to 25 and back. I think it's like 15-18% difference. That's huge. I don't think AJ is going to make it this week. That's a foot, man. That's a broken foot, and happened late in camp. And you're going to have him come pound on AstroTurf. Hasn't practiced yet. Hasn't even. I don't know if he's even out of a boot or not. I haven't heard anything. I'm not saying he is or isn't. I know for them, Cordy Glenn, former Bill, as we all know, is in the concussion protocol. One of their rookie offensive linemen is hurt, as well as their first pick, Jonah Williams, offensive lineman. So they're in a rough spot. They have John Miller starting on their offensive line. The guy that they picked in the first round last year at center, Billy Price, lost his job to a undrafted, I think like a mid-tier guy, Trey Hopkins. So they have a real. This is not only a chance for the Bills' pass game to blow up against the 32 ranked defense at home. It's a chance for the entire offense, because I went back and watched the 49ers. I watched a little bit of it live while the Bills Giants game was going on. And oh, did he? I didn't. Did LaShawn McCoy break his foot yesterday? Wow, if he did, holy shit. I didn't know. If you're fucking with me, I don't know, but let me find out. Oh, see, Corey just messaged me. Corey just messaged me on Twitter. He's pissed. Oh, I'm sorry. He's very hurt. He's like 6 years. You know, what's thing? I think it was cramps, cramps right now. But I'm not even going to reply to him. For those of you who don't know, I just had to mute Corey, had to block him from the room. Can't deal with him. He's way too much of a pain in the ass. Just pissed that I blocked him. Said he was loyal and all that stuff, but he can't come in and just be such a pain in the ass and so negative. I'm just not going to have it. It's just too much all the time, and it's the same rhetoric over and over again. The past, you know the shit that he does, and I just can't take it no more. Yeah. He can't even watch. No, he can't watch. He's blocked. He's blocked. He can't comment. He can't nothing. And he left a comment to a regular viewer. He left me a nice comment on the video saying he appreciated, all the years I do this, and I do it because I love interacting with you guys. That's the first and foremost thing. I have a tremendous passion for the Bills, like you guys do, and a passion to interact with other Bills fans. It's that simple. I'm not trying to be the next somebody. I'm not trying to be a somebody. I'm not trying to take money or try to make myself into a somebody. But the point was, he got into it with Jamie Osgood and saying like, well, I spent a bunch of money and I bought this and I bought that, and the team went out there and went to the playoffs and didn't win a game and blah, blah, blah. He was just like, I'm like, dude, I wanted to comment to him, but I'm like, you know what? I can't waste my time with him no more. I can't waste my time. I can't be bothered. I can't have him fucking with you guys and just being a pain in the ass. So I had to put him on ice. I had to, because nobody makes you watch the Bills, bro. He's like, I get no joy out of this team yesterday. I'm like, motherfucker, then don't watch. Don't be a Bills fan. That's it. You ain't no better than nobody else. Your suffering ain't no more than Eric's, than Ronald's, than John's, than Snarl's, than Trevor's, than Hussein, than Christopher's, than Los's, than mine, than nobody's. You choose to be a Bills fan. Nobody's forcing you. All right? You ain't special because you bought a fucking shirt. They don't owe you wins for a shirt. They don't owe you wins for fucking buying tickets. That's just what it's about. You choose to do it. So you don't get a pity. He wants a pity party. Then he was talking about being harassed because the guy commented back to him, all like, all right, once you start being a thin-skinned little victimization shit, all right, now I gotta usher you to fuck out. I gotta take you out because you too little to play in the big boy sandlot. You gotta go. You got to go. If someone named Terry starts being a real negative, okay. Yeah, again, like that's a new thing, guys. If somebody comes into the room and I see bullshit, I'm dropping the hammer right away. It happens like that. If somebody comes into the live chat, in the comments, I can deal with it. I don't care. People can say whatever they want to me and talk all the kind of shit they want to me. That's fine. But if they come in fucking with you guys, whatever, I just kill it right away. Yeah, he acts like a child, so I can't have a child trying to talk irrational shit. I wish I had the motherfucker in front of me. I'm like, yo, dickhead, you came in here and tried to extol the virtues of Nate Peterman, okay? How you believed in him. Your opinion is really, really bad. Your take on sports and football is bad. I'm not saying the Bills are some great shakes or have been some model franchise, but look at the state of the league. All right. The Steelers, guess what? All their great history ain't helping them now because they've lost their Hall of Fame quarterback for the year. You know, injuries can happen to anybody at any given point in time. I get that, but they don't get extra credit. The Chiefs don't get a win and a half to 2 wins for throwing for 5,000 yards in a game. They don't get that. They get 1 win. And when you're the Bills, you can't be a beggar or a chooser. You just get the wins, how you get them, and then you take it and you roll. That's it. Because he's jaded, dude. He's jaded. Yes, I think he would. That's Los. That's the Los. Yeah, it's degrading, man. Us Bills fans, we've gone through enough. The national media fucks with the Bills constantly. Rodak, when he covered the Bills, like every other tweet was some snarky, smart ass tweet. You know what I mean? Some like schneisty, snipey tweet at the Bills and their fans just to get them riled up. And the Bills are never going to get respect till they win consistently. That's just the way it's going to be. And even then, it's like the only team you're allowed to be and win is Dallas, an LA team, or the Patriots, or a New York team. Maybe if you're a Chicago team, you know, on the come up. Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't be on the right. The Bills, they did that themselves back in the 80s, you know, to talk about the past. All that success they had in the late 80s to, you know, mid 90s to possibly late 90s, it didn't help them in the 2000s. They got no credit for that. They became a bad franchise, a poorly run franchise, no ownership, no leadership, no direction, no type of structure. That's the past, you know? That's the past. Yeah, that was such a great statement. Out of all the things the Bills quarterbacks have said, I think probably the most likable quarterback from a personality standpoint in recent Bills history has been Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Allen just totally, like, he gained fans with that statement. He really did. And I live in New Jersey. I've never been to Buffalo, New York. I've never been to Western New York, but I'm a Buffalo Bill fan from day one. It's the name of the block I was raised on. It's the first football game I ever watched on television. It was the thing that made me love the sport, and it's something that I'm going to take to the grave with me. So I feel that when he said that. Did the whole thing crumble when Levy left? No, it crumbled when John Butler left to San Diego, and in came the Tom Donahoe regime. Ralph kind of turned over the franchise really for the first time, said he would stop meddling, and Donahoe became very much a strong-arm dictator. And yeah, that picture of, you know, Jalen doing like the ghetto pose, priceless. Yeah, really, really, really turned the franchise down. And then as time went on, Russ Brandon got empowered and things went further downhill. Just like Eric said, Russ Brandon, ugh, you know, and it was tough just to order a ticket and drive up to Buffalo with us. Yeah, man, I'm probably going to take a plane up there. You know, I don't want to, you know what I mean? But I'm this year is it's got to be the year. You know, he was just, Doug Whaley, I can't thank you enough for showing my kids what a spineless pussy you look like. I didn't know he said that. If he said that, that's funny. Doug Whaley, guy was an alcoholic running the team, showing up at one Bills drive drunk off his ass. He knew how to find talent, just couldn't find a football team. Nobody ever doubted Sammy Watkins wasn't a talented football player. But when you have a guy who's been emboldened by the prior regime, and Whaley was there only a few months less than Watkins. Watkins was traded in August. Not to talk about the past, Whaley was fired in the first week of May, right? So he only lasted 3 months more than the GM that drafted him. Okay, yeah, he didn't. They were constantly missing on Cam Newton. They wanted to reinvent Cam Newton somehow. That's where you have the big arm, slightly mobile Cardale Jones, EJ Manuel, who threw the ball like he threw the ball like Coy Detmer, who was 5'10" and a buck 90. Had a decent career. He had a better career than EJ Manuel, though. Different agendas in the building. Yep. Lois, I appreciate it. See, this is why Bills fans are the best. You guys, I've never felt nothing but, when I first did my first Bills video after the Dallas game, we were all younger. We all felt like shit. We all felt like garbage. I mean, and that was my first time it hit me. I'm like, look, I have this webcam. I talk about MMA. I got to go bitch about the Bills. I can't sit here and just think about it. I'm going to lose my mind. I need to scream at something. I didn't really yell. I was trying to be positive, but because I had high hopes for Trent Edwards, but it was, and I'm so glad, man, that I did. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was turning on that webcam and doing Bills videos and fucking just getting to know all you people that are so cool and Bills fans. And even some of the very few Bills fans I met in North New Jersey, always cool people, always. Russ Brandon only had one thing. Yeah, Ronald, he just wanted his power. He wanted to be able to just stay employed and keep a position of authority. Yeah, Romo had 5 picks and they still won because we had a quarterback that couldn't make a play. Just like Tyrod Taylor, they lost a playoff game 10-3 because their quarterback wasn't willing to make a throw or hit on a throw. I'm not saying he's going to win. What's up, Bowman? How are you? Yeah, he was weird. What's crazy? I always say that about Bowman. He had that Chargers start. Remember that Chargers start where the power went out? The power goes out at the time the Ralph. It was called the Ralph. The power goes out. There's no headsets, everything. He played great. He outplayed Phillip Rivers. Kavika Mitchell had an interception. And he's not, Matt. Allen is definitely not scared of the moment. I think Trent became scared of that moment. I heard there was a lack of leadership. He didn't know how to take the team by the balls and make it his. Yeah, man, I'm in Jersey. Raised off the bridge, the Frog's Neck Bridge. Frog's Neck Bridge. Yeah, man, I've heard nothing but good things from people up there. And man, somebody's blowing up my fucking Instagram. Shit. Some piece of shit. Oh, man. Yeah, he just hit him. Sorry about that, guys. Gonna head out. Okay, Trevor, have a good one, man. I was gonna come on and at the halftime of the game tonight. Maybe I'll come on. I'm not sure. Take care, Ronald. Take care, Trevor. I appreciate it. I just wanted to do a quick video about the let me turn that down. About the game yesterday. You guys are all feeling happy. It feels good to be 2-0. How many times like last year, 0-2, Allen gets thrown in there. The defense has been roasted. How many points did they give up the first 2 games last year? Like 79 because of turnovers and special teams errors. Peace, Los. I'll take care. So they've, let's see where this goes. I'm excited, guys. Have a great one. Enjoy the game tonight. Let's see what happens. Peace, Bills fans. Love you all. Go Bills always.